Hubert, I got you here. Is that right? How are you?
It's my youngest son here.
Cool, great. This is the Practice Day Press Conference at the University of North Carolina. Joining us now is head coach Hubert Davis. We're going to open it up to questions. Please raise your hand and let the mic holders see you. We'll start right here in the front.
Greg Barnes in South Carolina. Hubert, over the last 9 games, your team's held its opponents to below 41% shooting. I know Leaky plays a big part of that, but that's the team-wide thing. Is that a matter of the guys buying in after that Pittsburgh loss, or are you doing anything different schematically?
No, I mean we're not doing anything different. You know, we've emphasized all year the importance of us being a good defensive team. We've identified, you know, the 3 things that make us successful, and that's playing good defense, rebounding the basketball, and also taking care of the basketball, limit our turnovers. And I think over that stretch, 9 games, and throughout the year, we've gotten better at it, and we've gotten more consistent at it. And I also think that our guys are, you talked about buying in, I think they're seeing how successful we're becoming because of how consistent we are on the defensive end. And so I don't know if that's, you want to call it buying in, but I think they're experiencing the success of us doing a better job on the defensive end, and it's obviously made us a better basketball team.
Go to Adam Zagoria.
Hey, Hubert. Adam Zagoria, New York Times. How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Good. You know, you're one of several coaches in the tournament who played in the NBA and is coaching at their alma mater. You know, Penny Hardaway, Juwan Howard, guys like Shaheen and John Shire played professionally. How appealing is it, do you think, to these kids who obviously all want to get to the NBA to be coached by somebody like yourself who played in the NBA? And are there any specific, you know, examples on how you help them and prepare them to get to where they want to go?
Well, I always think it's important to have people around you that have experienced and been through and have been where you want to be, you know. And so, you know, not just for myself, our entire coaching staff, you know, everybody on our coaching staff went to Carolina, played at Carolina, and with the exception of one of our assistant coaches, every one of our wives went to Carolina. So, you know, it's been tried, tested, proven successful. And so, you know, when we're talking to the guys, they can look at us and say, you know what, you've been there before. And then you talk about not just my experience, but, you know, Sean May played in the NBA. Pat Sullivan coached 18 years in the NBA. Jeff Lebo played in the NBA and also coached in the NBA. That type of experience, I think, is valuable for our players. It's valuable in recruiting because we've been there before. So I think it's a huge factor.
Do you see this as a trend? I mean, obviously Penny and Juwan, and it doesn't seem like this was the case 20, 30 years ago. Do you think more schools are going to go in this direction if you guys are successful?
I don't know. I can only draw on, you know, my own experience. And for me, this is not a job. To me, this is missionary work. It really is. It's put me in a position where I can help and serve and coach and teach and give back to these kids everything that Coach Smith and Coach Guthridge gave to me the 4 years that I was there, and also give back to the kids everything that Coach Williams gave to his players for 18 years. And so to be in that position is very humbling. I'm very thankful and appreciative, and it's a great place to be.
Matt, front here.
Hey, Hubert. Matt DeGeorge from the Delco Times.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you have any memories of the last time being here in Philly in 2016.
Yeah, we won against Indiana, and we won against Notre Dame. Yeah.
Being on familiar ground, does that, I wonder for you personally if that helps at all this week?
I don't, well, it doesn't help because I'm not playing, and if I was out there now, I would really hurt them right now at 51 years old. The thing that I am enjoying, and I just enjoyed with practice today, is that with the exception of Leaky, nobody has ever been in this situation before in the Sweet 16. and to see the not just the determination and the fight and the will and the want to, but also the excitement and the enjoyment of being in a stage that they've never experienced before brings tremendous joy to me. That's what I love. You know, every day I get a front row seat to be able to experience things with each one of these players and to see how happy and excited and motivated they are to be in this position is something that I've really enjoyed.
Let's go right next.
Ross Martin, Inside Carolina. Coach, all season you've talked about getting these players to play in big games and win big games and have that Carolina experience. I feel like after the win at Duke and this run, you've kind of accomplished that. And what does that feel like? And if so, what does it feel like?
I definitely do feel like now they have their own stories, their own testimonies, their own memories of being in big-time moments and coming up big in big-time games. I do. As I said before, I want them to have memories, plural, and stories and testimonies, and I don't want it to stop. Actually, at the end of practice yesterday, I told them, I said, if anybody asks me, what, from a player's perspective, for me personally, what is the greatest experience that I ever had as a player? And I would tell them is when I got to go to the Final Four in '91. And I said, guys, I went to the Final Four and we lost. I said, I played 12 years in the NBA, and my number one greatest experience personally as a player was to play in the Final Four. And I said, guys, I desperately want you to have that experience. I want you to get to the Final Four. I want you to get to the final game. I want you to do that. So yes, they are getting memories and stories and testimonies, but I don't want it to stop there. I wanted them to have more.
Right here.
CL Brown, Raleigh News and Observer. Hubert, I was curious if you saw a big difference between Brady Manick when Dawson was still in the lineup and in the rotation, and once he actually left, and it was kind of like Brady had to play more minutes. Is it as simple as there are more shots and minutes to go around, so that's led Brady's increase, or was there something else to it?
Well, no, I mean, he obviously there's more minutes to be had, and to be honest with you, CL, like Brady's playing at such a high level right now. It didn't matter who we had on the team; he would be out there on the floor. And you know, at times, even when we had our full lineup, when Brady was in a rhythm on both ends of the floor, I kept him out there on the floor. I've said this before, like the chemistry between Armando and Brady has worked from day one. It just has. They just play off of each other. Their skills complement each other. Their personalities complement each other. And when they're out there on the floor, we are at our best.
Hubert, David Teal, Richmond Times-Dispatch. You mentioned Armando's personality. He seems, you smile, he seems to have this mischievous side to him. If so, how does that manifest itself, and also his serious side, because he won your team's top scholar athlete award?
Well, I wouldn't characterize him as mischievous. I would characterize him as a very competitive, but also lighthearted kid that has a tremendous heart and a tremendous value on team. I've known Armando since he was 15 years old, and he's always wanted to go to Carolina. He's always wanted to be a part of this. Excuse me. He's always wanted to be a part of this program. And when I talked about the joy that I feel for the players, I probably feel more for him because, you know, the 3 years that he was here, the first year we didn't have a winning season. Last year we lost in the first round. And I feel like now he's getting the Carolina experience. And so for me, that brings me great joy. And I've known Armando for a number of years, and I love coaching him.
Right here.
Coach, Andrew Jones, Tar Heel Illustrated. We've talked a lot about RJ's assists and his shooting and those kind of things, but as he's been on the ball more and more during the course of the season, how has his game management improved as far as getting the guys in the right stuff and sort of setting the tone from that perspective offensively?
Yeah, he's done a terrific job. You know, he's a guard, And so he's not a point guard or a shooting guard. He can play off the ball or with the ball in his hands. But we really like the ball in his hands because he consistently makes good decisions. He has a great understanding of when to pass and when to shoot. And he gets his players involved and gets them the ball in the right spots. Last week in Fort Worth, the first game against Marquette, he had 12 assists, and then the next game he knew that he needed to be more aggressive on the offensive end, and he ended up having 30. And so that versatility as a guard, it's just it's valuable to us. And I think the other area that he's gotten a lot better at is defensively. One of the things that I talked to him about was because of his size, he can be a factor on the defensive end. I wanted opposing teams to talk about him defensively on their scouting report. And I think he's taken that challenge, and he's done a better job defensively, and he's having a terrific season.
Tariq Patel from the Los Angeles Daily News. Coach, maybe a little about UCLA, kind of a two-part question. One is, what are the challenges you think they bring you? And then, Jaime Jaquez, we don't know, so do you kind of have to change your game plan at all, not knowing if he's going to play or what have you?
No, I think, the challenge for UCLA is they're a really great team, and they're extremely well coached. It's a team that has a number of gifted players that can consistently, from an offensive standpoint, create a shot for themselves and for their teammates pretty much every time. And, their lineup, they basically play 4 guards and 1 big. And so, obviously, that's going to put a guard on one of our big guys. And so, the battle is, can we take advantage of their lack of size and get the ball into the post or attack the basket through post or penetration, or is their perimeter play going to be a factor for us because we're bigger? And they're also an outstanding defensive team. I think on the Pac-12 first team defensive team, I think they have 3 players on there. 2 of them come off the bench. That's impressive. So, there's a reason why they got to the Final Four last year, and reason why they're one of the better teams in the country is because they're really good on the offensive end and they get after it defensively.
Jordan Kramer, CBS 17. Hubert, for the last couple of months, it seems like your players have really embraced being in an underdog role, and during that time, you've had a lot of fighting mantras, whether it be, take the first punch, plant your feet, stand your ground, fight back. Do you feel like a city like Philadelphia that is kind of infamous for this underdog boxers, maybe a good backdrop to your fight continuing?
Well, my message to them hasn't been from the standpoint of being an underdog. My message to them has been to change the narrative. So it hasn't been from an underdog standpoint. I just felt like the narrative with this group was that they weren't tough. They weren't resilient. Excuse me. This wasn't a team of perseverance. And I said the only way that they can change is you're going to have to change it. And so I never felt, and I've never talked to them specifically about like an underdog role, but I have motivated them and challenged them to change the narrative of us not being competitive and competing and shying away from physicality. It's something that I wanted them to embrace, and I wanted it to be a part of our team.
Trayvon Miles, ABC 11. Hubert, a couple of different times during this run, your guys have said, how anxious they are to get back out there. After today's practice, how ready would you say they are for tomorrow?
Oh, we would play today. We love to play. We love to compete, and what a great opportunity it is to play against an unbelievable UCLA team. That's one of the, we were talking today at the end of practice, and I asked them, what practice was this? And they said 98. And Armando says, I want to get to 100. I want to get to triple digits. I said, okay. Well, that means then we got to practice on Saturday. And then that means we got to go practice back at home. And so our guys are excited. They're motivated. They accept the challenge of playing a great team tomorrow night, and we're ready to go.
2 more right here and then back there.
Hey, Coach Davis. Taylor Vippolis, Inside Carolina. You guys are scoring at an elite level on possessions that end in a Caleb Love catch and shoot, 1.4 points per possession. What do you think has kind of led to Love being such a more efficient shooter this season?
Well, I think there's 3 clear things of why Caleb is a much better shooter this year compared to last year. I think number one, it's because of him. It's his hard work. He's a guy that consistently, before and after practice, early mornings, late nights, he's a guy that's always getting up extra shots. Number two is a huge reason is his shot selection is much better. I've always felt like, you have a better chance of making shots if you take good shots. And I really believe that Caleb's shot selection has gotten a lot better from last year to this year. And then, last year was both for him and RJ, they were just freshmen. And one of the things that, Caleb and our freshmen didn't have last year is they didn't have older guys at their position that could tell them what to do and, to teach them how to prepare and how to practice and how to play. And so they just basically came to Chapel Hill and here's the keys and just play. And so, the maturity standpoint of just growth, natural growth from a freshman to a sophomore year, I think plays a huge factor. And again, he's having a terrific year, and I absolutely love coaching Caleb Love.
Final question.
Hey, Coach. Cole Nowak, Philly Sports Digest. As you see in most tournament games, the lower seed might jump out to a 10, 15-point advantage. You guys last week were up by 25, and everything that happened in that second half, and you guys were able to weather the storm and come out in overtime with the victory. Do you think that has really propelled you guys with positive momentum moving forward with maybe an unexperienced team in the tournament?
Well, I do. I think not just the experience that we had with Baylor. I think, what allowed us and helped us in the situation with Baylor was the experiences that we had earlier in the year. We were in overtime against Syracuse and also Louisville. We were in tight games against Duke and, other teams. And Clemson was a late shot, late game situation. So we had been there before. So, when things were very tight in the second half with Baylor, those are things and those are conversations that we talked about in the huddle and things that we could grab and hold on to and understand that we have been successful in these situations. And that gave us in that Baylor game two things. One, it gave us confidence, and it also gave us peace. And so going into the overtime, even without two of our starters, we were still in a place of confidence and we were still in a place of peace.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, thank you
Best of
very
luck
much.
tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Ready, Micah? They didn't ask you a question, Micah.
Be joined momentarily by the University of North Carolina student athletes. Guys, seated your names, please. Thank you. Joining us are Leaky Black, Caleb Love, R.J. Davis, Armando Baycott, and Brady Manick. Okay, we're going to start with questions. Let's go right there.
Armando, David Teal, Richmond Times-Dispatch. What has motivated you, even after the transfer to IMG, to remain close with Coach Hamlin and the Trinity community back in Richmond?
Yeah, I can kind of attribute a lot of my success and just how my whole life shifted going to Trinity Episcopal School. I just learned so much from going there and just was fortunate to be in such a great environment like that.
Go ahead.
Greg Barnes in South Carolina. This is for Leaky and RJ. Over the last 9 games, you guys have held your opponents below 41% shooting. That's since the Pittsburgh game. Can you attribute anything to that specifically?
You got it first. You got it. You said the shooting?
Shooting under 41%.
Shooting under 41? You mean like as a team or? Or holding teams. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think we all bought into the defensive mentality. Leaky's able to go out there and lock down the best defender, and then we all tie into that. I feel like we feed off his energy that what he brings to the table.
Right here. Good.
Was Leaky going to finish that answer?
Do you want to?
Nah, you're good.
This is CL Brown, Raleigh News and Observer. This is for Brady, and if anybody else want to chime in. Brady, what to you was the difference between once Dawson left and you knew you were going to have to play a whole lot of minutes, and what you were doing when he was still on the team, and you know, you were coming off the bench at one point and that kind of stuff, because your scoring averages have gone up. Obviously, your minutes have had to go up.
Yeah, I think I'm doing the same thing as I was before, just getting more opportunity, playing longer, you know, really stepping into that four-man role, and just been playing well, playing a lot more.
And then the next person behind you.
Ross Martin, Inside Carolina. My question is for Armando. One of the big reasons you said you came back this season was to have the big games, the big moments, the Carolina experience. I was wondering if you felt like you've achieved that, accomplished that, and your emotions regarding that.
Yeah, I mean, I would say overall this season has been a success just so far where we at, and just specifically just these last few weeks, just winning these big games, and I mean, the fans and everything, the school, it just seems alive again and back to where it was kind of before my freshman year, and I feel like it's been a great experience, and it's been good for all of us just to be able to be a part of it.
Let's go to the back there.
Ben Bulch, Los Angeles Times. For Brady, they like to play with four guards a lot. Do you see that as a stretch four, something that you look forward to seeing as a guard on you, and do you feel like that's something that plays to your advantage?
I'd say throughout the year and throughout college, I've had guys that I haven't guarded guard me. I've had small guys, I've had big guys. You know, throughout the years, I've had more 2-3s match up on me if the team's got a couple bigs. So, yeah, definitely something that we've gone against this year, and I've gone against in the past, of having a guard-like player on me.
It's Andrew Jones, Tar Heel Illustrated. It's for Armando and Leakey. You guys almost played UCLA back in December, and I remember talking to you guys a couple days before that. You guys were pretty excited about the opportunity to play them. Now you finally get that opportunity. Just kind of discuss the idea of playing a program like UCLA, not playing them in December, but getting them now.
I mean, I would say I'm very excited because I remember my freshman year, they kind of had a lot of the same guys. They added a few different pieces. I mean, it was an up-tempo game, and it was a lot of fun. And, I mean, just UNC versus UCLA is two big-time programs, and just for us to be able to meet in the Sweet 16, especially with all the history we have with that program, it's a great opportunity, and we know a lot of people will be watching, too.
Yeah, pretty much what he said. You know, two big-time programs meeting in the Sweet 16, you know, on the stage, it'll be a fun game.
Terrence Hatchett, Carolina Blitz. Is for Leakey. You were on that 2019 team that went to the Sweet 16. How have you used that experience to help the rest of the group?
You know, there's been in tough moments, you know, trying to keep our guys poised. You know, like the game against Baylor, there was a couple. Moments where we were getting rattled. You know, just being in that position before. You know, just trying to get everyone to settle down, kind of thing, and just being a leader.
Adam Zagori.
Yeah. Hey, guys, for I guess Armando and RJ and anyone who wants to answer, Adam Zagori, New York Times. You know, Hubert coached in the NBA. He's one of a couple coaches in the tournament who, or played in the NBA, I'm sorry, a couple coaches who played in the NBA, Penny Hardaway, Juwan Howard. How appealing is it to guys like you and recruits coming to the schools to be coached by a guy who played in the NBA, and any specific examples of, you know, stuff he does that can help you kind of pursue your future goals?
Caleb, do you want to start us off? Or?
Well, I mean, it's just great, you know. He has that experience, and he's been up there. And so just him having that experience and that knowledge of the game, and, you know, we listening to everything he tells us to do, and we go as he goes.
RJ?
Like what Caleb said, you know, he's been in big moments. You know, he's had stories that he told us, and we just basically listen to him. We like to pick his brain a lot, and just to, you know, learn from him, and, you know, because he's been in our position and he knows what we want to accomplish, you know, our dreams and goals. So just be able to pick up from, you know, what he teaches us is a great thing to have.
I would say just for all recruits. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't look at the way we play and kind of not want to go here and consider going here. I mean, we got Coach Sullivan, too, who was in the NBA for 20 years, and then Coach Lebo, too, who coached in the NBA. So a lot of the things we do, if that's defensively icing the ball screens, the offense kind of free-flowing, shooting a lot of threes, spacing the floor out, miss a lot of opportunities to show those type of things that NBA teams like. And, I mean, it's just great and fun to be able to do, and, yeah, we enjoy it.
RJ, just to follow up real quick, is there any specific story he told you or something that stands out that really sticks with you about?
Just like, you told us, when he's like in the NBA Finals, just those moments that he was in, and, playing with the New York Knicks, I kind of feel like, the way he plays with his passion, he carries that over into, his pregame speeches, which gets us fired up. So I appreciate that.
Chris up front.
Chris Murray from the Philadelphia Sunday Sun. Over the years, Carolina, with traditions of Dean Smith, Williams, have been a favorite in these tournaments. How is it that you guys, especially when you guys beat Baylor, how do you like playing the underdog role? We don't normally see Carolina as the underdog in this situation.
I don't think we really pay attention to that. I don't think we really go into any game thinking that any team we playing are better than us. So I guess that's just more for, y'all and the people to really see it as. But I don't think we go in any game thinking that, like, we the underdog or embracing, like, an underdog role or whatnot. Yeah.
Taylor Vippolis, Inside Carolina. This is for RJ and Caleb. I was just curious, what do you guys like about each other's game from the perspective of the other when you guys watch each other out there on the court?
We just play off of each other, I find him, he finds me. I know where he likes the ball on the court, and I'm always looking for him when we're in transition. When half court, I always know where he's at because he can shoot the cover off the ball, and when he got a mismatch, he always hears me saying go at him. So like if he got a big on, I'm like, it's your world. So I'm just playing off him, he playing off me, and we play together.
We complement each other well. I know both of us could score the ball at a high level. And, what I like about his game is that, he doesn't fear anyone. He'll take it at you. He's very confident. I know when he's in that mode, I tell him keep going. And I think that's something that we both have in common. We both have confidence in each other, which is why we gel so together on the court.
Go ahead.
Trayvon Miles, ABC 11, Raleigh. This question is for Caleb and Brady, just specifically how last game ended for you. Hubert said in the presser earlier that you guys would play today. How anxious are you to get back out there?
It was kind of different to watch from the bench and those games, and you couldn't really do nothing to get out there. So, I am hyped to play this game, and I am ready for the next game. So. I'm just going to go out there and do what my teammates want me to do and do whatever we got to do to get the win.
We're going to take – I'm sorry, guys. Sorry.
I would say I'm more excited just to be here. I've never made it this far. This is a new experience for me, and I'm just going to enjoy it.
Going to take one from Zoom, Daryl Johnson. Go ahead, Daryl, please. Well, let's go right here while we get Daryl on.
CL Brown, Raleigh News and Observer. Could each of you just go down the line one by one and tell me what you thought the turning point of this season was? What game or what moment?
Well, for me, I think it was when the tough week after we played Miami and Wake Forest. Obviously it was a disappointing week. The next practice, Coach Davis came in, super positive. And we were not expecting that at all. We expecting him to come in hot and kind of chew us out kind of thing, but he was not. He was super positive, and I feel like that was a turning point for us.
Yeah, same thing. Miami and Wake Forest. We came back. So when we got back, we just got right back to work. It wasn't no feeling sorry for ourselves, and we had a full season ahead of us. So we didn't get down on ourselves or nothing. We just got back to work, did what we had to do, and then I also think. When we beat Syracuse and we gutted that win out, I feel like that brought us together more. And ever since then, we've just been on the roll.
Let's take one from Zoom, Daryl Johnson. Go ahead, Daryl. Sorry about that. One last one over here.
This is really for anyone as well. Jordan Kramer, CBS 17. Hubert Davis said he's kind of talked to you guys about not being tough, not being resilient, things along those lines. When he has those conversations with you, what's kind of going through your mind?
Can you say that again?
Coach Davis said that he's challenged you all about not being tough enough, not being resilient enough throughout the season. When he does kind of have those challenges and have those conversations with you, what does that, evoke in you all?
Me, I hear it, but I kind of think that's BS because, I know deep down that all of us, we got that in us, and it was just kind of something we had to just display all the time, and I feel like we kind of been showing that as of recently.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Best of luck tomorrow. Reminder, the recording of the press conference is in the NCAA Digital Media Hub. We will be back here at 2:05 with the UCLA players.